The story of Marvel Studios, the making of the Marvel Cinematic Universe book is so insane that the more I keep reading and looking into it and turning the pages, the more you realize that the Marvel of old that was split up between Marvel Studios and Marvel Entertainment, which oversaw TV and comics, was just a complete disaster. One trying to cannibalize and prevent the other from being successful by hurting itself. It just makes no sense, but hey, I guess that's Hollywood, right? So in this fascinating book, there is a lot to talk about. I mean, there's just so much context, and I'm honestly shocked that they were even putting a lot of this stuff in there. I mean, it's really shocking, such as, the disconnect between Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige and Marvel Entertainment, which was Jeff Loeb and Ike Perlmutter. And Marvel Entertainment was based out of New York primarily, which of course oversaw the comics and everything at the time, and they were in control of what was happening over on the TV side of things that Kevin Feige didn't have a control over any of that. And in the book, they reveal some interesting details, such as the fact that Marvel TV set out to do their own thing by blocking Marvel Studios from connecting to or using any of the elements that they would adapt. Essentially putting that good old DC style embargo on things where Kevin Feige, even if he wanted to, he could not use the things that they were doing. And what the book goes into and describes is that Marvel TV planned a TV empire to rival Marvel Studios, where they were going out there and getting these characters, locking them up, and just locking them down to do what they wanted to, and we're not going to ever allow the other side to touch them, even though they were backpedaling off the success of the other side. Hence why you got those moments in the Marvel TV products where they mention what's happening, but there was no direct crossover because the two sides were literally rivals with one another, pulling characters away from one another, fighting each other over who gets to do what, not knowing what the other side is doing, not lining things up, and so forth. And you realize that reading this book that there was things in motion that were just completely out of the hands of Marvel Studios. Like Daredevil, for example, is brought up. Marvel Studios has interest in him, but the other side says, no, you don't. We're selling that character to Netflix. Oh. So it's kind of like a repeat of those 90s days where Marvel Studios, or Marvel at the time, just had to get rid of a bunch of characters to stay afloat. It looks like Marvel Entertainment was still in the same mindset. Lock up whatever we can, go to streaming services, let's see what we can do, and this will be our own thing. And it's interesting to see how this company that's literally working in the same literal subsidiary of Disney and should be fighting for the same side was trying to cannibalize the other side by damaging them. I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? I mean, it's Hollywood, so it kind of makes sense because I guess you want to screw yourself over to make yourself look better, but it's just completely insane to think that Marvel Entertainment was like, we're taking these characters and you can't touch them, even though they wanted to. Just think. Could have actually got Daredevil in the MCU proper, but Marvel TV wouldn't have it.